Hello. Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with the juice to get you through the long night. I know all the hype surrounding this episode is that the Greens got to win. Finally, Aemond claimed Vhagar, the biggest dragon. But the Blacks claimed a dragon as well. Big Daddy Daemon Targaryen. And I'm going to talk about the big twist at the end of the episode with Laenor living and what it means for Seasmoke and what it means going forward. But let's get into the episode. So episode 7 is titled Driftmark, and the entire episode takes place at Driftmark, the home of House Velaryon, Castle High Tide, with the exception of Daemon and Rhaenyra's wedding, which seems to take place at Dragonstone, but I'm not sure. So we open up, it's Elena's funeral, and her uncle, Vaemond Velaryon, is giving her eulogy in High Valyrian. He's throwing mad shade at Rhaenyra's children. Not everyone knows what he's saying because not everyone speaks High Valyrian, but Daemon knows, and he finds it funny. I found this whole funeral and repast fucking weird and super uncomfortable. It felt very unnatural. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but it just felt awkward. So let's talk about Vaemond Velaryon real quick. So Vaemond is Corlys's brother. In the book, he's actually a nephew of the sea snake, but for the show, they made Vaemond his brother. Vaemond is the one that tried to turn everyone in the Stepstones against Daemon. So in the preview for next week, we see the sea snake is sick, and Vaemond is questioning who will inherit Driftmark. We know that Corlys wants Driftmark to pass to Lucerys. He says as much in this episode. Rhaenys wants Driftmark to pass to Baela. She says as much in this episode. But best believe, Vaemond wants Driftmark to pass to him. But anyway, we get dragons. Dragons everywhere. I can make out Syrax and Caraxes, and this dragon is for sure Sunfire. Sunfire is Aegon's dragon, and Sunfire is said to be the most beautiful dragon ever seen in the known world. He does not look that much different than Syrax right here. I'm just saying. The other dragons are likely Dreamfire, and this is either Seasmoke or Meleys. The repast is full of people being weird and looking at each other. Rhaenyra is looking at Daemon. Alicent is looking at Rhaenyra. Viserys is looking at Daemon. Crispin Cole is looking at everybody looking at Alicent like he got a problem with it. Yo, what is wrong with him? The energy is just weird. Like, the energy is just, I'm not even kidding. Like, I would just leave. I wouldn't stay for this. Rhaenyra and Jace's conversation broke my heart because he's such a little baby boy and he wants to be at Harrenhal mourning Breakbones, his daddy, but he can't show that. He can't show any emotions. He has to suck it all up because he's in a situation that he never really asked to be in. But Rhaenyra tells him to go say kind words to your cousins. His cousins are Baela and Rhaena, Laena's daughters. And Jace makes his way over to Baela and Rhaena. While this is going on, we have Helena sitting on the ground trying to catch a spider. Spool of green, spool of black, dragons of flesh weaving dragons of thread. Hand turns the loom. That's what she said. So we know that Helena is gifted. She sees the future. She says in episode 6 that Aemond would have to close an eye to get a dragon. And we see what happens later in the episode. But basically, she's predicting the Dance of Dragons and Sir Otto Hightower being the mastermind behind everything. Flesh dragons are the Targaryens, and they're weaving dragons of thread. The dragons of thread would be the individual banners of the Blacks and the Greens. The Greens, or Aegon, use the gold Targaryen three-headed dragon banner for their sigil. And the Blacks, Rhaenyra, quarters her sigil, the black banner with a red dragon, but also she has a Valyrian seahorse in honor of Laenor and a falcon of House Arryn in honor of her mother. Hand turns the loom. A loom is basically like the device that you sew with. The hand is Otto Hightower. Boom. Dance of Dragons, you caused it, Otto. Like, I really cannot tell you guys how much I hate Otto Hightower. Like, he's disgusting. Hurry up and die. But anyway, Aemond and Aegon are talking while watching Helena. And Aegon seems displeased that he has to marry his sister, Helena. Somebody needs to get Aegon an energy drink, a Red Bull, a coffee, or something. Because, baby, he's forever tired and yawning and bored or stressed out. Like, I really think he just wants to get drunk and forget that he even exists. Aemond, on the other hand, it seems very serious, almost envious of Aegon getting to marry Helaena. Aemond would marry Helaena with no problem. So what if, like, Helaena and Aemond have, like, a secret relationship? Like, on some, this is for the book readers, on some Aemond the Dragon Knight, Aegon the Unworthy, and Nerys type shit. Because I don't want to spoil nothing. I'll talk about that when we get to that part. I don't know. Aemond was giving me hella... Helena's Dragon Knight. Let me know what you think if you catch what I'm putting down. Alicent would melt into the floor though, because that would mean that bastards. What's going on with Helaena is kind of interesting, because when she has the spider, like she catches a spider in an oyster shell and then boom, it cuts to a spider, a fucking pest. Larys the Clubfoot. I really despise him. I cannot stand characters who have no clear motive as to why they're doing what they're doing. To me, he's just a bitter fucking man. And he's been looking at Alicent. And Crispin didn't miss it. Have y'all seen the show on Netflix called You? Because Crispin gives me Joe Goldberg vibes all day, every day. He's such a creep. He's just creepy. The sea snake tells Luke that High Tide will be yours one day. And Luke is like, bro, I don't want it. Little Jon Snow. Because that means everyone's going to be dead. Rhaenys and Rhaenyra seem to be like not getting along. Rhaenys was acting kind of cold to Rhaenyra and her children. But keep in mind, Rhaenys has just buried her only daughter. So I don't really think it's anything that needs to be looked into too much. It's just like a grieving mother, and yeah, I don't think she has no rep for Rhaenyra right now. Then there is this weird exchange between Jace and Aemond where it looks like Aemond wants to comfort Jace. Like, if you look at the scene, there's definitely some empathy there. It's just fucking weird. This whole funeral is weird. It's like your long distance family all getting together on Thanksgiving, and your married uncle brought his girlfriend who's 20 years younger than him. Your cousin who's on drugs just pops up uninvited. Your brother's wife that can't cook or season shit worth the fuck is making the baked macaroni. Your aunties that had beef and ain't spoken in 2 years are there. Like, it's just awkward and nobody wants to be there. And that's what this scene is giving. Like, that's what this scene felt like to me. And I'm just going to say right now, this was my least favorite episode, like, so far. Like, I think it was a good episode, but it was still my least favorite one so far, because it was just, so much was just awkward and didn't really make sensey. Anyway, so Aegon is drunk. Laenor is all the way in the water crying. But keep in mind, Laenor just lost his sister. And I think in the show, they made Laenor and Laena twins. I'm not sure, but I think I do remember Ara saying that. But Corlys tells Carl to go get his patron, aka boyfriend. Daemon and Viserys talk. It gets nowhere. Like, at all these years, I just think, like, Viserys is like, the gods can be cruel. And Daemon's like, yeah, they've been especially cruel to you. I'm like, bro, he got up out his chair to come and speak to you. I know you wish he would have done more when you were younger, but, like, let him make amends. But Daemon isn't trying to make no amends. He feels he needs nothing from his brother. He's made his own life in Pentos, and he's not coming back to King's Landing. Otto throws Daemon a little sorry for your loss, and Daemon reminds him he has not forgot exactly who the fuck Sir Otto Hightower is. An ambitious second son, up-jump, cutthroat from Old Town. Rhaenyra sees this as an opportunity to put the moves on Daemon, so she sends the kids to bed. Viserys also says he's going to bed. Good night, Aemma. He calls Alicent his dead wife name. Yes, you are a replacement. Nothing more. Thank you. Next. You really got above yourself trying to usurp House Targaryen. Sir Gerald leaves the night watch to Crispin Cole, and it looks like he doesn't want it. Like, he had plans already. Like, why don't you want it? Actually, thinking of, did he already have plans and didn't want the Night's Watch? Where was he when the children got fighting? Because, we're going to talk about it. So Otto kicks the shit out of Aegon, scares him to death. He thought it was his mom. Now, I know I'm joking a lot about Aegon drinking and doing all this stuff that he's doing, but actually it's sad because a lot of people use alcohol to cope with things that they just cannot handle. And I really think what Alicent does to him is abuse. Anyway, Aemond sneaks off and we get a conversation that Corlys don't care. If those boys are bastards, they bear his last name, and that's it, and that's all. They're his grandkids no matter what anybody says, including his wife. Corlys is going to stand beside the strong boys until the end. Now, a lot of people were thinking, what's going on in this scene? Like with Rhaenys. Like, Rhaenys doesn't seem to love and support Rhaenyra's children. I don't know if that's the case. Rhaenys knows they are not Laenor's, but her daughter's children are her daughter's children. And they're right there. And they've just lost their mother. And Laena is dead. So Rhaenys wants Driftmark to go to Baela. They do come up with a solution for this later, but I'm not going to spoil it. Anyway, Rhaenyra and Daemon catch up on old times. I feel for Rhaenyra, but I also feel for Daemon. They have both just lost their lovers and the parents of their children. I feel like for Rhaenyra because she wanted to bear Laenor's children. And it just didn't work out. Like, they had all these plans to make this relationship work and still enjoy life, but it just didn't work out. She loves him. There was just no joy in their relationship, and she found that joy in Harwin, and she had kids from Harwin. Life is just a tragedy, a romantic tragedy. Rhaenyra and Daemon talk about the curse of Harrenhal. Daemon says it's a ghost story that the Greens would happily exploit. Rhaenyra doesn't believe Alicent capable of cold-blooded murder. Rhaenyra is bugging, but so is Daemon. Daemon is bugging too. Harrenhal is definitely cursed. Every lord we know that's been named Lord of Harrenhal, or that has someone that has taken Harrenhal as their seat, has met their demise not long after. Rhaenyra talks about feeling abandoned and blaming Daemon for the way her life turned out, but this is all completely misplaced anger. Daemon believes that he spared her. Your life turned out the way your life did because your father has no fucking spine. And he let Sir Otto manipulate him into this situation where after your father dies, you're not safe. So Daemon and Rhaenyra have this long, drawn-out sex scene. And I hate to be the one because I love Rhaenyra. But this sex scene was whack. And what the fuck is up with Miguel making everything so damn dark? But I'm going to be the one to say that this sex scene was intentionally awkward because Daemon seemed into it. Rhaenyra did not seem into it. And I think Rhaenyra is more so trying to collect Daemon to her side as an ally because he's a big bad dragon and a good ally. He's a game changer. And like she's just like staring off into the distance. Like, yes, I have him now. But that's not to say that she doesn't love him. In the meantime, Aemond is creeping on Vhagar. I kind of look at Aemond as brave because Vhagar is the biggest dragon. But I also look at him as weak because Vhagar has just lost her rider. And she has a broken heart. And she's super vulnerable. And she's sleeping. Like, bro. People were saying, why would Vhagar accept Aemond? Like, why would Vhagar accept such a putrid human? Think about all she's been through. She is a part of the original three-headed dragon. Balerion is dead. Meraxes is dead. Visenya is dead. Aegon is dead. She's just lost her rider, Laena. She's grieving. She's old and tired and sad. And she recognizes something in Aemond that she respects. Aemond tells her to serve. Dohera, serve. And to calm down. But she smells him. She smells the anger, the ambition, the sadness on him. And you know what? She likes the way he smells. She's like, oh, kid, so you want to burn some shit up? Just so happens, so do I. When he tells her to fly, she takes him on a ride. Not an easy ride. She takes him on a ride to see if he's worthy to be her rider. Because as I've said before, the rider does not just choose the dragon chooses the rider. And he was worthy. This scene with Vhagar was one of my favorite dragon scenes ever. It's crazy because both scenes with Vhagar are like on my top 5 dragon scenes. But then we have Baela and Rhaena waking up Jace saying someone stole Vhagar. And the Greens were up in arms like, you can't steal a dragon. Oh my God, why would she say he stole it? You can't steal a dragon. Which, I mean, It's true, but like, bitch, you know what she meant. Rhaena does not have a dragon, and before her mother died, her mother talked about her claiming a dragon. So Rhaena wanted to claim Vhagar, her mother's dragon, but Aemond beat her to it. Aemond did not steal Vhagar. However, he did steal the opportunity from Rhaena to claim Vhagar. So I completely get why she's upset. She's upset because she's always viewed Vhagar as her mother's dragon, and at her mother's funeral in her grandparents' home, her older cousin, whom she doesn't know, has just taken that opportunity from her to claim her mother's dragon. So therefore, there is a confrontation afterwards. And let's talk about it, honey, because I know some of y'all greens. I know some of y'all like the greens. It's some of the greens I like, but I'm not going to paint Aemond as a victim. Like, I'm not just going to be out here trying to do somersaults to make him a victim. At first, at the funeral, there was some empathy there. Like, he wanted to comfort Jace, as I said earlier in this video, but he turned into a vicious, feral dog when he came back from claiming Vhagar. Somebody on Twitter, one of my followers on Twitter was like, girl, he strolled in there like he got his first piece of pussy. And this is one of them themes that exists in the university that is A Song of Ice and Fire, that is Westeros, that is the world that George created. And one of those themes is power corrupts. Power corrupts.
Power is always dangerous. It attracts the worst and corrupts the best.
Power attracts the worst and corrupts the best. And riding Vhagar, feeling that power changed Aemond that fast. So Rhaena pushes Aemond, knocks her down, and then Baela rocks his shit. And not for nothing, Baela got hands. Aemond winds up losing an eye. Good. Don't put your hands on little girls. Don't hit women. Also, Aemond was the one that was about to bang Jace in the head with a rock. So Viserys is flipping out. Alicent is flipping out. Crispin thinks all this is funny. I think it's funny because Crispin had the night watch and he was nowhere to be found. I bet you he was in Alicent's bed. I also am willing to bet that Crispin is going to kill Sir Harold Westerling because Sir Harold is picking up on his fuckery because he keeps side-eyeing him. Aemond lies and blames Aegon for the bastard rumors. All this shit is treason. Alicent, though, there is no defense for Alicent. Y'all really are delusional if you're trying to defend this woman. Like, yes, sadly, your son ran his mouth and his nephews and cousins defended themselves against his mouth. Death threats and a rock that he wanted to beat Jace's head in with, and he winds up losing his eye. But that, however unfortunate that may be, that does not mean that in turns you order your personal guard to take the eye of another child, a 7-year-old. This scene reminded me so much of Cersei on the Trident when Nymeria bit Joffrey and Cersei had Lady killed. Alicent is a mess and evil, and when she attacks Rhaenyra, this is her true nature. Jealousy and envy is a disease. It's a disease. Get well soon, bitch. Aemond calms his mother down by saying, you know, Mom, I lost an eye, but I gained a dragon. And honey, Vhagar is the only thing that the Greens got going for them. But anyway, while Rhaenyra is getting stitched up, Laenor says he wants to be a better father and husband because that's what Rhaenyra deserves. But Rhaenyra has other plans. She had her eyes on a dragon, Daemon. And while Aemond was getting Vhagar, Rhaenyra was claiming Daemon. Listen, Daemon plans on going back to Pentos, but he stays with Rhaenyra and they get married. And their wedding reminded me of a Viking wedding. It's a blood wedding and it's a true Valyrian wedding, an ancient custom that we have never seen before. And I really love that scene. And then when we all think Laenor is dead, boom, he's not. He's alive. So Daemon, Rhaenyra, Sir Carl Corey, and Laenor all conspired together to make Laenor fake his death and disappear so he can go live his life. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this. I don't like this twist. I didn't like it. Like, I'm happy for Laenor that he gets to go live with his lover, but it contradicts all of the dragon lore that we know because Laenor is the rider of Seasmoke. Seasmoke is bound to Laenor, and the dragon won't take another rider as long as Laenor is alive. Also, Laenor in the books, Seasmoke is Laenor's fucking pride and joy. Like, he's not just gonna abandon Seasmoke like that. So let's talk about spoilers real quick. Book spoilers. If Laenor isn't dead, then Seasmoke can't be claimed by Adam of Hall. Now, no one really knows where Adam of Hall comes from, so maybe Laenor comes back as Adam of Hall. But I don't know. I do like that he lived. It was shocking that he lived, but Seasmoke, go away, you can't do Seasmoke like that. But anyway, what did y'all think about this episode? As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone that supports me on Patreon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell and join the sweet summer family. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.